Hi, today we're going to create a roof for this small little structure in 3D in AutoCAD. And what we'll do is we're going to create basically two layers. One will be for the fascia and the other one will be for the shingles. So how we start this is we're going to start by creating some polylines that define the volumes, and we'll project these polylines towards the center. And you can see here that to create the polyline of this elevation, the way it has been set up here, it's been basically placed in 3D in my view as a projection. I need to set my user coordinate system, which I just did, and now I'll create a polyline. So polylines, of course, will be flat to the user coordinate system. Create one for my main part of the roof, and then another one here for the secondary part. So each one of these polylines will be projected towards the center of the building to make my basically an intersecting volume. So let's do the same thing here. User coordinate system for the side view and create a polyline. Now in this case here might be a little different from what we just did. We need to create a polyline for this entire volume of the main part of the roof. Okay, so it might be, you might sort of look at that as being different to what we did here, but you'll see in a moment why we do that. All right, and we'll finish this part here, close that off, and before I project these two masses towards the center, I'll move them away from my elevation views, and now I'll do an extrude, and I'll do these one at a time just so we can see how they form. Okay, so you extrude them both and then you intersect them. So we intersect this with this, and we have one volume created, and we do the other one here. Intersect that with this, and there we go. You get two resulting volumes, and usually what we like to do, if at all possible, is we're going to connect these two volumes together by unioning them. So we'll use the union command, and we'll just select those two volumes and they union together. So let's take this resulting volume. Of course, it's on this layer that I like to use called zero temp when I create objects, and we're going to move it to the fascia layer. Okay, here, exterior fascia. Okay, so now I want to create the layer which will become the shingle part of the roof. So I'm going to copy this, and it's kind of easy if you copy this a set distance. That way you can move it back down. So I copy it up 36 inches. Okay, and now I'm going to make another copy like this, and I'll just do that 0.5. So I have, basically, you can see a duplicate, one on top of the other, and the distance between the two duplicates is half a unit. So I'm going to now subtract the lower volume. So from the upper, subtract the lower. And you can see here now that I have this, what looks like a thin shell. Okay, so I'm going to take that thin shell and I'm going to put it now on the shingle layer. So now I'll take this and move this back down that 36 unit length, and you'll see how that has placed it directly on top of the fascia. So let's just have a look at this in conceptual. All right, so you can see here how I have these two elements. One's white, and that will be taking a certain material that's appropriate to the fascia, and the other one, it's that thin layer on top. Now, you can see that this edge here is quite sharply defined, and perhaps what we'd like to do here is make this a little bit more, I'm going to say, realistic. It's a fine little detail, but it'll make a little bit of difference when you come time to render this view, especially when you use shadows. So I'm going to take this face here, and this is best done in wireframe. Okay, let me make sure I get back into that view. So, sorry, that command, move faces, and so I click on this, highlights, and with ortho on again, I'm going to move this out from the face half a unit. So you can see how this creates a bit of an overhang now. Okay, so you need to do that all the way around. So I go to the other corner here and repeat that command. And I'll select that, move it over 0.5. Okay, and it's a little bit of a tedious job here, but once you get it, it adds just a little bit extra to your model and your final renderings. Okay, so after completing my work here, I've gone all the way around and overhanged basically that shingle element to the fascia, so you can see a little bit how that changes the model somewhat. Okay, so that's it for the shingle roof. We're going to try to do another thing in the next video to create a different style of roof.